I think that maybe if I kind of say two or three things, right, that are important, right? I think one is the importance of being really adaptable, right? Especially now, like in the climes that we're in, right? There's so many things that like changing rapidly, and so it's really important that you're adaptable. Adaptable is, both in terms of like your customer needs and what your customers would want, and being flexible enough to say, hey, tear apart what you have and like, start again if you need to. But also adaptable in how you also solve it, right? And so, could you do this while you're at a job and, still make sure that you have like a cushion of income, and get some validation? Do you need to go find a co-founder because it's going to make things much easier? And so you just need to be much flexible, right? And saying there are multiple parts to, or could you even, solve a problem within another business, right? That's something that at Traction we are even now encouraging as staff, right? With like, hey, you have this thing, we're happy to actually support you to build it within Traction and put some funding behind it, right? So could you even do that, right? There are many routes to solving problems, and so it's just important that you remain flexible. I think second is, I mentioned it a little bit in the first, is actually find a partner, right? You never want to be on this journey alone. And maybe if I broaden that point, is like find a support system, right? First support system will be, if you have a spouse or a significant other, that's the first important support system, because when all the madness happens, you want to at least have one place where there's peace. And you can always take time out, but also as you're running a business, find a co-founder where you guys, your values align, and you're both in it, right? Because in those days when things are tough, right, you don't want to be completely alone, thinking these things like, two heads are always better than one, three even better than two. So find a partner that you guys are, and that you're also friends, right? Because that's just important. The days you wouldn't always agree on things, right? But because you guys are friends, right? You can completely segment issues properly. Also find people around you, co-workers, etc. Friends, family, that also believe in you, that can also be, support systems, in those early days, right? And they don't always have to be like people who would invest, right? It might just even be like connecting you to customers, right? Or connecting you to partners. A lot of our first partners were just folks that, people connected us to, right? And then things moved very, very fast. So I think that's number one is kind of be adaptable. Two is, build a support system before you launch out. And the third is just enjoy the ride, right? Have fun as much as you can. You will be, I think I was saying earlier, when we were chatting informally, that I think I don't work less hours. So probably, my wife said I work even longer hours these days, but I'm having fun, right? And I'm actually, genuinely enjoying what I'm doing. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters, right? Just that you're happy and you're fulfilled. Yeah.